Kip69 here at Computex 2013 at Silverstone. Introduce me.
I'm Tony from Silverstone Technology, and welcome to our booth here. So the first thing I'd like to show you is our Mammoth MM01 computer case. We actually showed a concept case of this back at CES earlier this year, but we weren't sure if we're actually going to make it into a real product. But after a pretty good feedback that we got at CES, we decided to go ahead with the project. So right now you're seeing a more polished version of a prototype MM01 case, which is based on the internal of our Raven, RV04 and Fortress FT04. So as stated before, this is probably the only case powerful enough on the market that can actually overcome this highly restrictive head-pop filter on the front of the casing. So that means the air coming out of this case will probably be cleaner than your room or office.
You see those fans?
Those are the AP182 computer fan with a maximum of around 170 CFM each at maximum speed. Wow. Okay. And you can see it's not only totally dust-proof because of the head-pop filter and the positive pressure design, it is also spill-proof because all the vents on the front and the back side are sealed off with the slanted vent angling downward, and the top is completely flat. So that means if you have water spill on top, all the water will just be flowing down and over the vents and not getting into inside of your computer.
That is an interesting feature.
Okay, so all the other standard features like
even louver down so the water will go down.
So all this, the drive capacities are two 5¼ inch drive bays, a 7 3.5 inch drive bay, and 4 2.5 inch. And it fits extended ATX motherboard along with any size graphics card in the market and any CPU cooler that you can find. It has graphic card supporter and CPU cooler supporter. So it's a pretty safe machine to house your critical components.
Right on.
Okay, so let's move on to our other new cases. Intel NUC or NUC cases. So this is our PT14, our first NUC case. It utilizes a top cover that looks like heat sinks. So you could actually run this case, the fanless operation, but we added a fan mount on the bottom as a safety measure. So if you're putting this somewhere close to where you might be touching it, maybe it's better to have the fan on because the top surface here will get pretty hot if you don't have any fan blowing at least a little bit of air over it. And here are the PT15. So this is a more conventional design built out of aluminum casing. So they utilize Intel's original blower cooler for the NUC as opposed to having the fanless top cover on the PT14. And over here we have the PT17 prototype, which we were showing for the first time as well. That has a sideways mounted docking.
Is this the 17 or the 16?
16, I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
So it has a pop-up cover that allows you to slide in a 2.5 inch drive like this for expanded storage. It also comes with a card reader slot. So it's a bit more of a little multimedia sort of a powerhouse compared to some of the other NUC cases that you might have already seen. And over here is a PT17. This is a little special. This is actually AMD's version of the NUC case. So yeah, we're working on that. Sapphire, I believe it will be the first manufacturer to be doing the motherboard for them.
Wow.
Okay. And let's move on to the HTPC case section. So at CES, we showed off the ML05 and ML04 prototype cases that are now in production. This is new, the ML06, which is based on the ML05 internal chassis design, but the front panels swap out to a more expensive aluminum front panel as opposed to the plastic and acrylic on the ML05. So as you know, the price of these are actually very affordable. They will retail for around $40 for ML05 and $10 to $15 more for the ML06.
Wow, okay.
And over here we have a case that's branded right now as a Raven. We haven't decided on the model name yet, but this will be what we think a really good complement for those that are looking to build a HTPC, but more for the gaming sort of style product. So it's designed to look more like a console as opposed to a stereo amplifier like we do with other HTPC cases. So with the gaming look or the more console look, the interior is also designed to be very powerful for a gaming PC. So let me open this up. You can see. You can see there's a magnetic filter on top. So this case fits a standard mini ITX motherboard, SFX power supply, and here, this is where the gaming part differentiates this case from other HTPC cases. So this entire bracket lifts up to show a graphic card assembly, so you can fit pretty much any graphics card on the market. And what we're also showing here is on the floor of the case, you can actually fit a dual 120mm radiator. You have to use a slim fin, of course, because the case is very low profile. So that means you can actually build a very powerful gaming PC inside this very small case.
Wow.
Okay, so obviously we don't have it at the show right now, but it has to utilize a riser card to fit this graphics on the motherboard.
Oh, okay.
So let's go ahead and move to power supply next. Right here, you'll see very soon we'll be releasing a 1500 watt power supply. That is as small physically as some of the smaller wattage, like the 700 watt, 800 watt power supplies. So there's only 180mm deep, which is a lot smaller than what you see on the market for other type of power supply with similar wattage. Similarly, we have 850 watt and 750 watt that are really, really small too. So these are really good for...
Those even look smaller. Is that smaller than the standard?
No, it's 150 millimeter. The standard ATX is actually 140, but because over the years we've been adding more and more features, higher and higher wattage, we're making power supply bigger than they used to be. So we're going back and try to shrink them down one by one.
Awesome.
Okay, so speaking of smaller power supply, SFX are currently the second most popular standard form factor after ATX. So we're working on making it even more popular. We're hoping that we can make the SFX power supply as popular as micro ATX or mini ITX motherboard today is to the motherboards, right? So what we're doing here, showing off, is a new 300 watt power supply for SFX. It's 80 plus bronze rated, which is currently still the highest for a 300 watt SFX right now. We're also adding a fanless feature to this power supply, so anytime before 40% loading condition and below 55 degrees Celsius internal temperature, the fan will stop. So it will operate almost like a semi-fanless power supply. So once you get up over that temperature or more than 40% loading, it will speed up the fan. Okay. And right over here we have a prototype of a truly digital controlled power supply. So what that means is we have a software here that I'll demonstrate to show you. So this power supply we can change from either single to quad rail right on the fly for this power supply, so you can see. Right, single, multiple rails.
Okay, so no more arguing about which one you want.
Right. So for safety, you can use quad. For overclocking or flexibility, you use single. Not only that, I can go into each individual rails right here and adjust their, actually this one is not showing up, but okay, here. See, I can actually adjust plus or minus different voltage range. Within safety, we will of course put in safety. You can actually fine-tune each individual rails to your liking. Also, you can fine-tune the fan speed curve of your power supply. So if you like to have your power supply quieter, you just simply move down. Of course, there's also a certain range where you can't get past, but this will give you a lot of flexibility in what you want to do with your power supply. So we think this is really, really neat for controlling power supply. Yeah. So initially, this feature will only be available on our Zeus 1200 watt power supply. It will be called the ZM 1200. And this is only a prototype, so our full production version will be fully modular. That's supposed to happen.
Oh, okay. And that's at platinum. Are you planning to get it up to titanium soon? Or?
No, titanium is only right now for the server power supply levels.
Oh, okay.
So for consumer, it's only platinum. Okay.
Oh, darn.
So let's move on to.
I know this is the one everyone wants to see.
Right. And someone's already disassemble it. So here, let's show you how.
Disassemble.
Okay. Let's start with the disassemble then.
Okay.
So this is a graphics box. So you can see that utilizes a Thunderbolt connector. And inside, it's capable of fitting up to any graphics card on the market. It houses a SFX power supply. So right now, with the 450 watt SFX, it will support any graphics card that you can buy on the market as well. There's a 120 millimeter fan here on the side to bring cool air in to the power supply. On the production version, there will also be a filter here for dust filtering, and it looks really, really nice. It looks almost like our Fortress FT03 case over there, which also utilizes the 90-degree mounting. So that means the hot air will get exhausted out on top.
Let me get some shots of that closed. Any thoughts of bringing these out with multiple cards for RAID solutions, or?
We're definitely thinking about it, but right now the limitations on the Thunderbolt bandwidth. So with just a single card, you're actually saturating all the bandwidth that's available on the Thunderbolt already. Okay. So over here we have also the DS380. So this is almost like a cross between a hard drive enclosure and a mini ITX system. So usually with 8 hard drives enclosure, you probably expect something bigger than this. We managed to shrink it down to less than 22 liters in size. So that's actually smaller than some of the mini ITX cases on the market now. Okay, but it houses 8 hard drive, which all of them hot swappable. They're also compatible with 2.5-inch hard drives.
Can you take one out so I can see the sled? Okay. It's like,
and if you look at the inside, the back plane is included. It will support both SATA and SAS drives. So you can really use this for home servers or even for business use.
That would make an excellent mini ITX system.
Right, and it'll fit any almost any graphics card on the market. All you have to do is sacrifice 1 or 2 slots only.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty good. You still have 6 hard drives left, and I don't think there's that many mini ITX motherboards that'll let you connect to that many SATA drives.
Hard drives, that's by far the most I've seen. SSDs, I've seen some that can hold 5 or 6,
right,
but not the full-size hard drives.
And this door here, there's a lock, so you could keep. So even the power button can be locked. So that's a feature that we utilize from our HTPC cases. So here's a slider. Move that over, and the power button is locked.
Oh, that's nice. No accident, no hitting that power button.
Okay, so let's move on. Products. We just launched our water cooling product in addition to these really nice looking notebook coolers. So this one in particular is made out of aluminum. So you can see this aluminum piece here is actually one piece from top to bottom, almost like some of our unibody cases. So it's very sturdy and very nice looking.
It is, right?
It comes in both black and silver. And we also have, that's the HE01, which we launched late last year. It's one of the best air cooling heat sink on the market. We also see an MP05 that has a giant cross-flow fan in there that blows air out like this.
Oh, okay, so you just put the laptop on it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And what's with the water coolant?
Well, if you haven't seen it, all-in-one water cooler is unlike anything that's out there on the market currently. that utilize all metal. Let's take a look at this one. All metal water block. So top cover is aluminum. The middle section is a unibody aluminum block with nickel plating. On the bottom is a copper base that's soldered onto the unibody. So you don't see any screws on the bottom of the copper base, right? And it's very solid. On the side, there are also aluminum mounting bracket. So they provide the mounting force very evenly because they do not flex at all. On the radiator side, we also use a radiator design that's different from everybody else. You can see it's designed more like a high-end air cooler in which the water piping goes through the heatsink fins as opposed to heatsink fins touching only a little bit on the side, like a zigzag type of a style that you see on the radiators. Also, if you press really hard on it with a hand, they don't deform like the regular radiators.
Yeah, like my radiator home did.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That is solid.
And this ring here is also really nice. It's aluminum as well. So you might be seeing some of these coolers on the market with different colors of design, maybe later on by some of our customers.
Oh yeah,
eventually. Yeah.
It actually does follow. It follows in your styling, so it would fit really nice on top of one of those cases of yours.
And one little accessory I like to show you guys is this CP06 cable that we launched last year with capacitors inside. So that helps stabilize the power going into all the 4 SATA drives that you might be connecting to. We actually spent a lot of time developing this because you need to get the right capacitor size and numbers to actually get the best stable power delivery. Okay, there might be some copies on the market now. So we're moving ahead with our next design. If you take a look at the old cables, it's actually just like any other cables with this type of rubberized coating that you might expect. They flex somewhat, but it's a little stiff if you bring this connectors close. So they put a lot of stress on your SATA drives connector. So we're coming out this year with a new silicone-based rubber coating that's much softer. You can see, it's very, very soft.
Goodness.
Yeah. So this will be really good for those of you that have a lot of drives in the drive cage and you need to have good cable management. So we will come out with 2 different versions this year. One is 1 to 4 and one is 1 to 2. So this is designed for SSD. That's why the cables are much shorter than the regular ones. And they're still very soft. See? Okay. All right. So one more thing. Okay. So what I like to show here. Let me take out the side panel. It's a prototype all-in-one water cooling unit that doesn't have any pump.
No pump?
No pump. The pumpless all-in-one water cooler. So you can see it's very flat water block here, showing you that you can't really fit a pump inside. Okay, and this is a regular radiator on top. But you can clearly see the liquid flowing inside. Let me turn off the system now. Okay, very soon you'll see the fan stop moving, but the liquid will continue to flow because there's still a little bit of heat, remaining heat on the CPU that drives the evaporation process of the system going. So you can see it's still moving, but it's getting slower. The fan has already stopped, but this is still moving.
Yeah, the system's completely off.
And you'll see that it'll eventually come to a still.
Yeah, it's slowing down. Are those are bubbles in the loop, right? That's usually not a good thing, but
we need to show
that's what you have on this one.
So we think this system might be good for people that are looking for a really silent water cooling system because we're eliminating one of the sources of noise. That's the water pump.
The pump, yeah, the pump can be very vibration.
And we believe some of the system builders might like this too because it also takes away one of the potential failure points on the water cooling system, and that's the pump.
Do you have fans on the radiator now, or?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Let me turn it back
I
on.
couldn't
You'll
see
see
it.
that it's almost stopped now. Okay. So let me turn the system on again. And you'll see it'll speed back up really quickly because the CPU is warmed up.
Oh yeah.
This is a really cool technology because it makes this water cooling unit even more reliable than before. But we don't want to bring people's expectation too high because this is not really made for really high performance. Obviously, to have very fast flow, you need to have a very hot CPU and warmer temperature, right? Otherwise, if you're using a lower power CPU, you won't be moving as fast.
Okay.
So it's not made to be very high, to get your CPU to run very low
So
temperature.
this is more to compete with the standard air cooling,
Probably, yeah.
not the overclocking.
Yeah. Or for
Okay.
people who just like the idea of water cooling but don't want to deal with the pump or the idea that the pump could fail and then you have to replace the whole unit, right?
Yeah, that's always been one of the issues with the all-in-ones. Like if one thing breaks, what can you replace? The whole thing, right? That's an interesting system. Does the top come off? Oh, good. You can see the nice white fans in there. That is a very interesting little setup.
Okay, so I guess
all.
that concludes the tour of Silverstone booth.
Thank you very much from overclock.net. Kip69 here, Computex. Goodbye.